I think a lot of North Cedar. It's kind of a hidden jewel, we think, of Cedar Falls.
Island Park has been part of Cedar Falls since the 1920s and is one of the oldest parks in the community. The park currently offers plenty of green space for activities, 2 shelter houses, restrooms, volleyball nets, playgrounds, bike trails, and boat ramps. The park neighbors the Cedar River, and this can present some challenges to the park when the area gets a lot of rain.
Island Park has been struggling after flood events, trying to keep the turf in check and having to do some reseeding, and started doing that, and just is basically kind of a waste of time doing that, because every time it flooded in the spring it would damage what we did the year before. So I think 2016 was probably had quite a bit of damage to the park, and then a few years later with the ice jam, we had real bad ice jams and damaged a lot of trees and shelters and whatnot. So we started thinking about what can we do to this park to get it back to a more usable park again. And it's an old park, a lot of people have enjoyed it over the years. I remember coming here as a kid, family reunions and stuff, and it looked a lot different than what it does now. So we'd just like to get it back to being more usable again.
Unfortunately, the park has really been underused over the last number of years since the flood of 8 and 16. About over 1/3 of it has really been underused. It really hadn't been revamped since the flood, and we took down a number of, I know the city took down a number of dead ash trees here, and it's an opportunity right now for us to do something very special with Island Park, because it is connected to the community, it's connected to the citizens of North Cedar, and many people in the community in the Cedar Valley come to this park. They love to come here and picnic and take advantage of this beautiful green space that we have in Cedar Falls.
The city has put in place a 3-phase revitalization project for Island Park to bring the park back to what it once was. The first phase is to move the main entrance that goes into the park north of its current location. 3
different phases over 3 years. Hoping to start, potentially this year. We're waiting on DNR approval to get the lane moved. The main reason for that would be, we're not going to stop the water from coming into the park. So, when we do have a flood event and the water subsides back into the river, there's still low areas where water stands for a period of time, and one of those is on the main road coming into the park. So moving it to the north on higher ground, it would dissipate a lot quicker, and we'd still be able to access the parking lot and boat ramp area.
And that was one of the frustrations to the fishermen and the boaters, that, even when it did flood and the floods receded, the existing entrance was so low that, the water would stay there, a foot and a half of water would stay there for, 6-8 weeks after, the flood went out, and there was still, high water. They couldn't access the park just because of that. So, the original thought was, when we came up, is, why don't we move this entrance to the north end where it's higher, and then even if the floods stay here, the water stays in ponds in here, we still have access to the park and be able to use it. And then there again, making the improvements, improving the playground area, petanque courts, horseshoe pits, disc course, adding things that would bring people down here to make it a fun park to be at once again.
This park really is unique to the community. It's a large park, it has beautiful access to the river, it's a lot of green space, and I know the city has worked on this project, and I know that we're actually going to have some citizen input to this project as well.
This is a nice big park, a lot of space, a lot of, we could bring a lot of different activities to this park. And it's a historical park. It's been around for a long time. So I just, getting people outside and enjoying outdoor events and activities is what we work towards.
Channel 15 will continue to follow this revitalization project and keep you up to date with each phase of the project.